尖叫声送给年度最佳啦啦队富邦 Chen。现在介绍双方球员登录名单。首先介绍客队新北国王队。球衣背号3号陈俊南，背号7号林立人，9号李凯燕，10号简佑哲，19号林金榜，24号洪志善，25号聂欧马，50号戴维斯。先发球员 Starting by 背号1号后卫林书伟，背号5号中锋穆伦斯，6号前锋杨敬敏，17号前锋苏世娟，55号后卫曼尼高。西北国王队总教练 Head Coach Ryan Marchand， 助理教练马克，球员发展顾问许浩成，首席体能教练张崇熙，体能教练刘振宇，数据分析师林振宇，防务师邱博凯、吴崇豪，球队经理洪志虎，总经理毛嘉恩。球迷朋友们，迈向连霸的路上，有你们的支持，加上我们的努力，才能抵达最终目的地。只有我们是唯一能挑战3连霸的冠军队伍，全队始终如一，拼命奋战，誓言拿下第一 ，Only one goal， 全力冲向唯一目标，挑战 P.LEAGUE 史无前例的3连霸，打造独一无二的勇士王朝。
对我们来说，
面对的是
对我们来说，赢球就是我们的文化。
富邦勇士也完成了在 P.LEAGUE 的2连霸。
面对的是季后赛，是不可输的比赛，是要团结，你就会有强大的心，可以去战胜一切。
富邦每一个球员都是可以为团队做出一些贡献。
We got to play with some pride because we're the best team in Taiwan.
到场生的手上要暴扣，给祥军就对了，东部扣的是最祥军，看成上来了，转身的跳投中，忙过来，受到石伯恩的弯腰给进一下投进了。
目标3连霸，台北富邦勇士的球员们准备好了吗？现在介绍地主队台北富邦勇士球员登录名单，让我听到你们的尖叫声。首先欢迎勇士吉祥物皮尔。下面欢迎球员出场。首先介绍的是背号0号后卫3件一哥南洋小跑车赖廷恩。 背号1号前锋，能里能外，蓄势待发，选秀榜眼，承办博业。背号10号前锋 ，Number 10，来自法国浪漫射手 Steve 张文平。背号11号后卫，3分冷箭，锋芒内敛 ，KJ 洪凯杰。背号15号本土中锋，禁区魔兽基米谢宗荣。背号21号中锋 ，Number 21，酷帅高冷曾祥俊。背号2。
配得起像离火币，球场上不再凶到底，分秒必争，沉下去，谁输赢看规定。
In Game 1, the Kings shut down the Braves' attack by limiting the two-time Finals MVP Michael Singletary to only 7 points. Amigo led the charge with 24 points in his 19th professional season, while Byron Mullins secured the boards with 20 rebounds. Quincy Davis had 16 points, mostly off putback efforts, and don't forget, Joseph Lin keying on everything his former team wanted to do on the floor. He might have only had 5 points, was plus 24. 3 straight seasons, the Braves lose the opening game of the finals. But 2 days later in Game 2, the Braves got mad at themselves. Then they turned that emotion into focus and rolled an 11-point run to end the second quarter. Locked up the Kings for just 10 points in the third and built up a 13-point lead. But the Kings showed their resiliency by taking a 75-74 lead thanks to Kyle Lee Kayet layup with 4 minutes remaining, and that's when things got tough. But the Braves turned the beast, who drove in for 2 layups and take the lead back for good in his 20th professional season. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youths. For just 35 NT, take the Taipei Metro from the Kings' home in Xinzhuang to the technology building stop here in Da'an, home of the Braves, and that's why we call it the MRT Series here in the 2023 Plus League Finals. With Taipei 101 as part of the beautiful backdrop, we're here at Heping Gymnasium, where the new Taipei Kings and Braves are currently tied up at 1 apiece in this best-of-7 series. Of course, to finish up the recap, the drama wasn't done, as even 5-time champion Zaisev made a critical mistake, which led to a Migo layup to cut the deficit to 2. But the Kings didn't have the awareness to foul, and too much time ran off the clock. The result was the closest game of these playoffs, and there's the combined bracket, where the Kings took the first road victory to clinch against the Dreamers, while the Braves tried to defend their 3-game winning streak across the Plus League Finals. Now, tickets for tonight and Saturday went on sale on May 31st and were sold out within a day. It'll be 2 sold-out crowds of 7,000 people here at Xinghai Road. Xiaohu Hu Junqi and Cai Bao Cai Jingjing will provide the Mandarin commentary. 观众们，欢迎你收看的 Plus League 的英文转播，要看小胡跟情景在解释为什么要比1的话，就当然看到中文连接就好了。谢谢你收看，记得我们 Plus League 转播都要按赞。I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play for the Plus League, as always, joined by Kyle Hudson. Kyle, as mentioned, the most intense game of the series, but a couple days off. Do you think that intensity will go down any bit?
I don't think so, Ryan. Thank you for having me once again, but the Kings just took a tough loss, like you mentioned. They had a little spark and trying to come back, but pretty much had the win ripped out of their hands, and the Braves are looking to secure a home court advantage and make sure not to let this crowd down tonight.
The league's obviously sending a message that, you know, this is going to be more like an American football game or rugby game rather than a basketball game. So, you know, it's going to kind of hurt the fans a little bit because it's going to be really ugly basketball. You know, they're doing the same for both teams. They're allowed holding, pushing, grabbing, hitting. And so it's going to be very physical. So, you know, moving from here on out, it's just going to be very physical. And I really hope players from neither team get injured because of the physicality that they're allowing on both ends.
So Ryan Marchand pointing out the officiating feels a little different. During the regular season, the average was 40 fouls per game. And at least in game 2, the total by my count was 27 for the Braves, 18 for the Kings. So still above the average. But of course, as expected, the intensity of the play on the floor probably dictates more so than anything else. Now, one thing that did come about from the disparity in foul count is the Kings went to the free throw line 28 times to the Braves 15. But now we move on to talking about the individuals included in the actual floor in the competition. Post-game, there was also the Chris Johnson and Byron Mullins seen after the game around the jump circle, where the two teams were about to break the huddle before heading to the locker rooms. And later it was known that Mullins just didn't want the Braves to be breaking their huddle on their jump circle, although some fans have pointed out that the Kings have done so as well when they've been on the road. So it seems to be hyped up for the intensity of, again, the finals, and not so much anything that is a solidified rule in the book.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely coming in and the Braves stealing a home game from the Kings, just trying to break up that jump circle. It's not something the Kings are going to take. They're pushing back a little bit, and hopefully that intensity transfers over to this game here tonight.
There's definitely big changes from game 1 to game 2, where, of course, the Kings were able to win relatively comfortably, if you can say so, in these finals, by 14 points against the Braves. They won every single quarter, but in game 2, it was the Braves who made a change with their imports. So interviewed pregame Kenny Manigault and Jet Zhang Zhongxian.
I mean, that's the same as I was saying before. You know, I allowed them just to get under my skin a little bit with the physicality. And I don't know, I just got to be better with that. Just got to keep my emotions intact like I've been doing the whole season. Just keep playing.
当然，就是在总冠军赛，因为已经到最后阶段了嘛，那谁都不想要输，当然是会就想要就是全力求胜嘛。然后基本上我也不看那个美式足球，所以我也不知道他到底在讲什么。对啊。
To translate, Jet was saying that, of course, everybody will try to play hard as it's the finals, but he actually is not a regular viewer of American football, so not entirely sure what Coach Marchand was talking about. Though Jet, we do need to mention, did spend time in Hawaii for some of his collegiate days. So to the changes we're speaking of, in the first game, bringing along Michael Singletary and Igor Zaysev, two-time champions, but the Braves -3 in rebounds, 9 points on second chances, 17 turnovers. But when they switched to Chris Johnson plus Igor Zaysev, +10 on the rebounds, up to 12 second chance points, though the drawback was committing 25 turnovers. Now, including Quincy Davis, Byron Mullins, and Beast, the changes of the roster also really flexed the playing time. So Taipei making a joke about the Department of Labor and the long-term care facilities breaking down the door, because Davis and Mullins went from 55 minutes to 70 minutes played in the second game, and Beast also taking the place of Singletary on the scoring end, 28 minutes up to 37 in game 2. And of course, with 2 days rest, perhaps a little bit more chance to recover. We are playing 1 day on and 1 day off for the rest of the way, in these playoffs. We'll see if those rotations can keep the rest of the way.
Yeah, after that first game, we saw some adjustments from the Kings, bringing in Johnson as well to get some more longer arms in there, just to provide more of a defensive presence around the rim. As we saw in game 1, the Kings were very active in that 2-point range, and just having Johnson in there kind of deters them a little bit. So worked out in game 2 as the Braves were able to pull out a win. So, that's probably why they stuck with that matchup with the imports, to see if that can translate into game 3 and maybe could lead to some more changes in the future as well, depending on how this game goes.
Mr. Walter Wong behind the Kings bench in support after watching the team play from his courtside seats in Xinzhuang Gymnasium here at the home of the Braves. One thing to note about the matchup is Quincy Davis, a local. The Kings only have 2 imports, so their hand is pretty much set. Just obviously how much everybody rotationally plays, whereas the Braves do have the choice, so they can change up their lineup if they choose to, or they can rotate for rest if that is something that they deem necessary. But Kenny Manigault in Hoping Gymnasium is an interesting case, averaging 24 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, played that 1 game without Mullins, without any import teammates for himself, and is actually shooting 51% from 3-point range here. That would be a great sign for the Kings if he can get going from the outside, as he's so far 0 from beyond the arc in the series. Zhang Liyue will be the crew chief of tonight's officiating staff, as we bring you the starters with the Kings. Same set as game 2, Joseph Lin, Kenny Manigault, Amigo Yang Jiming, James Su Sixuan, and Byron Mullins. And on the Braves, same starting lineup as the game 2 for them as well. Jet Zhang Zongxian, Beast Lin Zijie, Josh Zouguiyu, Chris Johnson, and Igor Zaisev. Now, we'll get into it as the game progresses, but the change for the Braves actually kind of looked like they were playing small a lot of the times, with one of those imports in at center, but hardly any other power forwards or centers, you could say, in along with them. Zheng Xiangjun, the only one in there for just 8 minutes played, though he was racking up regular season awards for his improvement from season to season.
Yeah, definitely with this Kings team. Just playing a little bit more small ball, trying to take advantage of the different matchups that they have, and just having the big imports in creates a little bit of relief in terms of around the rim, in terms of protection. But like we mentioned earlier, the turnover rate is extremely high for those two, Johnson and Zaisev in game 2. So we'll see how they'll be able to limit those turnovers, and having more guards out there to be able to handle the ball does limit those turnovers.
The Braves will be wearing their black Taipei set, whereas the Kings will be in their alternative colors in yellow. Now, speaking of the turnovers, the Kings are holding the Braves to 79.5 points per game, which is drastically less than their average in the finals through 3 seasons, or for the first 2 seasons, shall I say, of 115 points. One of the members of the Tai family throwing up the ceremonial tip, and then having to jog over to Mr. Wong before we're ready to go. And Ray Chen, once again in attendance, with his also professional basketball playing better half. The tip is up, and it's the Kings in control to start things off. This is a new formation for them. Mullins across the lane. Now fading away, it's too strong.
We've seen in the past the Braves come out really strong at the beginning of quarters and also to close out quarters. So we'll come to see the Braves try to attack early and often, and we'll see how that Kings defense can hold up.
Beast on the curl, takes a shot, and it's bricked. Deep pass to Amigo, who was the one who provided the contest on the other end. Manigault guarded by Josh Zouguiyu, who was asked about in the pregame, as Sushi floats it over the mark.
So far, maybe a little bit of nerves coming into game 3, as we saw a brick off the backboard and an air ball here. hopefully, you know, these coming minutes they'll settle down a little bit.
Josh going around the world, out to Zaisev, over to Beast, to the corner as the spacing is off. 3 seconds on the clock. A pump fake and a dish to Johnson. It looks like it's not on time.
Yeah, the basket waved off here. Just a little too long trying to get into the offense for the Braves. Good defense by the Kings, being able to scramble around and rotate and force a very tough shot in terms of drawing down that shot clock for the turnover.
Now it's Joseph into the mid-range over to Manigault in the left corner. Yes! That's how the scoring gets started in this one. So indeed the first three-pointer made by Kenny Manigault in the series, as he leaves a step with Josh, who bounces it out and out of bounds. Referees say it will be Braves basketball.
Just great vision there by Joseph Lin. He was leading the Kings for game 1 and game 2 in terms of assists, and you know, he's starting off strong, drawing the defense and finding his open man in the corner.
Johnson will try the turnaround, and this one crawls in. Chris Johnson only played one game of the first series against the Pilots. That was the clinching game. But perhaps somebody Roger will count on a lot in this series, as Manigault one, can't make it 2 in a row.
The Kings are getting a lot of open shots here early in this game, and that's exactly what they're looking for in terms of quality shots. In game 2, they're struggling a little bit as Zaisev airballs one there.
Manigault slicing through the middle. It turns into a 3-on-1 as Johnson had his head turned around, but Joseph misses the close one. And another bad pass by Zaisev. This run to the waiting hands of Manigault, as the Kings are in a little bit of a scramble offensively. Now they settle in with Mullins at the top. And this time it's Amigo playing the smarts on Zhou Guiyu, who's kind of in this series, we could say, cross-matched up, because Zhou Guiyu is supposed to be guarding Manigault and Beast supposed to be guarding Amigo. But hands down, and then the foul.
Yeah, just to speak earlier on the quick hands by Manigault, he did have 5 steals last game, so keep a lookout for Manigault trying to break up some plays and just jump passes like he's been doing so far in this series. Just a very smart defensive player and giving the Kings a second chance opportunity after that missed layup by Joseph Lin.
Amigo missing both free throws in the playoffs, including the first round. A 86% free throw shooter. That's definitely going to take a dip. They go to Johnson on the post against Big Sushi, flipping around, and Johnson collects his own board, goes for the turnaround. Yes. Sticking with the play, Chris Johnson with a couple of buckets.
Yeah, we've seen Johnson just be extremely aggressive so far. His teammates are getting the ball in the post, and he's really taking it against Sushi.
And there's a counter shot by Joseph Lin, the former Brave. So the rest of his team, or a lot of them, trying to become 3-time champs, and Joseph trying to be the 3-time champ for the Kings in the third, as Jet blows the layup.
We're seeing a lot of missed shots around the basket fairly early.
Mullins deep, that's off iron. So are you saying the Braves not that comfortable at home yet?
I wouldn't say so. Hopefully they'll get a little heated up on both ends, the Kings and the Braves.
Now Manigault's guarding Jet. With a step, floats it up. There is a foul. Not on the rebound, on the shot. It's Big Sushi's down close to the baseline cam. That was a big thing in game 2 when he was fouled by Zhou Guiyu going to the basket. It had to be taken out of the game early. That was 9 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first quarter. So that kind of threw off the Kings rotation, but looks like he'll be all right, committing the foul himself. He makes his first, so we're tied up at 5.
Yeah, just speaking about that injury from Big Sushi last game, rotations were off, which gave the opportunity for both Johnson and Zaisev to work their magic down low, as they both had big double-double games in Game 2 to push the Braves to a win.
Joseph in the mid-range. This time it's a miss, trying to take the shot himself. A little bit of momentum. Jet tries the fadeaway, and it's good. Dong Zhongxian with 4 straight points to give the Braves the lead, and now up by 3. Over to Manigault, who avoids Josh and misses the floater, and a foul on the rebound.
Yeah, we've been speaking about that adjustment by the Braves by putting in Johnson instead of having Singletary, and so far it's been paying off. We see a nice fadeaway by Jet, but just his presence down low, very tough to shoot over him, and so far he's had a pretty solid offensive outing and defensive outing as well, grabbing a handful of rebounds.
Johnson in Big Sushi's face. And so number 5's getting it going. To put things in very simplified terms, the Kings had 42 points in the paint as Big Sushi scores on the assist from Manigault. So it's good that James gets an easy one there. But in Game 2, only 32 points by the Kings. They're going down the alley, but a foul first. That was an aggressive play. Spoiled by the foul first on the loose ball.
Yeah, we'll keep a lookout for Johnson to keep getting the ball down low, getting a lot of touches until they're able to prove that they can stop him on the low block.
It's our first stoppage of the game. We have the following messages for you as we are underway here in Game 3 of the finals.
Fridays 美式餐厅享有用餐的8折优惠。来了，现场的勇士伙伴们，准备看向大荧幕。哎，比尔，今天是你的好伙伴，尽量小子来了。哎，这是什么动作？哎，尽量小子跟着做一下。哦，很好很好。哎，比尔，你的好朋友。哦。 哇！给比尔一点掌声！啾咪啾咪！好，我们欢迎领航员啦啦队 PLEAGUE 也一起来支持勇士哦，谢谢。
Some members of the Pilots crew also in attendance, just like the New Taipei Queens. Like the stream before, there are no more streams left in the season to like. In the early goings here at Huping Gymnasium, the home Braves have taken the lead. Also missing a few of their opportunities too, so this lead could be even bigger than it is right now.
Yeah, so far the man of the first quarter is Johnson. He already has 6 points to his name and 6 rebounds, so he's already halfway for his double-double for the night. So keep a lookout on him, as the Braves are probably going to try to keep feeding him the ball, feeding him the hot hand until the Kings are able to stop him. Look for maybe some more double teams once he catches the ball. And just find a better rotation, as we see Quincy Davis is on Chris Johnson now. So we'll see how this play works out.
So Davis guarding Johnson as Zaisev tries from deep, no good. Both teams will have 2 centers in at times, though for the Braves it's almost exclusively the start of the game and the start of the second half, as Beast fouls Amigo off ball. Kind of just catching number 12 asleep for just a second.
Yeah, speaking about the physicality, it seems like the referees are maybe taking a little closer look. They don't want things to get too physical, but we'll have to wait for the rest of the game to see how far they're willing to let these players play.
One-handed push pass by Amigo as he's now making a move. Shot break and a missed finger roll as the Braves try to start a fast break. It's Zaisev stepping through and laying it in. So Ukrainian center now getting on the board thanks to a little fancy footwork.
Yeah, just having your big man able to run the floor and be confident in dribbling the ball and taking it to the rim is extremely important, as we see Manigault missed there. Another rebound by Johnson. But, you know, point guards are important, but if you have centers that can also push the ball a little bit, you know, under control, that's definitely a plus.
And there's a foul. They said Amigo, two-hand push, two-hand resistance, as you get another look at Zaisev, kind of deking out Manigault and Mullins there. And then it's two hands with the elbow by Amigo, immediately put his hands up. The Kings now with 4 team fouls with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Jet pops in there and overshoots the bank. It is a Thursday after all, as Joseph Lin off the mark.
Able to grab his own rebound though, keep the play alive.
Mullins flying through to pick up his teammate, and an emphatic 2 points by the team in yellow.
Yeah, we've seen Byron Mullins have a huge dunk in game 2 as well. Just pretty much similar play, a broken down play, an offensive rebound, and a cutting Mullins straight to the basket.
Mullins averaging 11 points in these finals and couldn't come down with the rebound as a couple Braves came crashing in. Giving Zaisev a step, he tries another 3 and it's off. But a turnover in transition. Numbers for the Braves as Jet tries the runner, and again, it's just iron.
Seems just like a tale of game 1 where both teams were shooting fairly poorly.
And an easy layup for Kenny Manigault, and it brings the Kings within 1.
Seems like so far the Braves have always been able to come out a little bit ahead in these quarters or early in the game, but the Kings always fight back, and they don't give it up too easily.
Davis, nice hands as Beast forced back to recover. He crosses over. A little jump pass as John takes the 20-foot runner. CJ in there and had a chance, but it goes out of bounds. Looks like it'll stay with the Braves. Substitutions incoming.
So far, Johnson, according to my records, already has 10 rebounds, and it's only the first quarter, so maybe we'll be seeing some historic numbers here today if this keeps up. But, you know, the name of the game is blocking out and getting possessions and stops, and so far the Kings are having a little trouble doing that at the moment.
KJ, former King, is in along with Lee Kai-yin, number 9, guarding Beast, who had a pretty decent effort, but Quincy Davis fouls and there'll be free throws coming up. Trying to apply pressure on Johnson. There's some hand fighting going on. He's chasing and a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, as we saw at the beginning of the game, the little press conference that we had after game 2, Coach Marchand was talking about, you know, being a lot more physical than he thought it should be, talking about being similar to American football. And so far it seems like the refs have definitely taken that into consideration. Don't want any of these players to get injured, and maybe a little more positive, I guess, in their calling the fouls is making sure these players play hard but also play safe.
Johnson goes 1 for 2 as number 1 Chen Boyan, or Phil, is in the game. He's only been active for the finals and not in the playoff first round, and has had 2 DNPs, but he's out there now trying to track down Amigo, who's got a step on him. He takes a long 2 and it bounces in.
Yeah, we haven't seen Phil in for a while here lately, so, you know, he's guarding Amigo, who's a lethal sharpshooter, definitely an offensive threat, so we'll see how he'll be able to handle that and see if his teammates are able to find that mismatch.
On the jet miss, there's a almost miscommunication on the handoff. Amigo firing away, no.
Very confident in his shot, though, and that's what we've seen from Amigo pretty much his entire series and season so far. Sharpshooter, ready to shoot at a moment's notice.
And Zaitsev with another missed three. In game one, he was 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, and in game 2, 1 of 3. As Davis steps back for one, he got it.
We see Joseph Lin just able to pretty much dissect that defense. It's his job to draw in defenders and find the open man, and Q was able to take advantage of that with a quick step back three to put the Kings up.
Now Zaitsev flipping it up and in, taking a funky step there around the defense. So he can't make the threes, but can get the circus shots, and maybe tribute to Winston, Ty Winston, who we learned kind of had a jammed finger that was pretty bad in the first game of the series, so he's out for 2 consecutive games. Mullins on the block to Davis. He's lining one up and choosing the pass. Amigo bumping into Zaitsev as Mullins takes the buzzer beater. It's off. So the Braves kind of dodge a bullet there, as here comes KJ to lead the Braves offense.
So far a little stagnant here from the Braves, just taking their time, really trying to find maybe a mismatch they like.
Johnson will try from 3. That's too strong, as the long rebound will go to the Kings, they say, though Zaitsev wants to take another look at it.
He's pretty confident that the Kings were the last touch on that ball there. As we see Mullins taking a seat, same as Amigo.
JJ Jayota will check into the game, along with Kenny Manigault. So the Kings now in one of their Quincy Davis at center, and you could say 4 guards around him. Joe into the mid-range, slicing through, passing out as Steve-O will commit the foul.
Yeah, we've seen Steve-O guarding Manigault. Even though he has a little bit of height advantage on him, Manigault's extremely strong. Just really looking to take that ball downhill to the basket, and Steve-O maybe a little too much touch right there and was able to call for the foul.
Steve-O did play, as he gets a steal here and has an adventurous pass back to Johnson. He did play in the first quarter of the last game. In about 3 minutes, his primary assignment was to guard Manigault, which could have worked out better, as Johnson a little over the top, but no, a whistle, they say.
I think a jump ball on the play, but like you mentioned, Steve-O had a couple of, he's a deadly shooter if he gets pretty hot on a hot streak, and unfortunately he wasn't able to get going in game 2 and didn't see much playing time after that first quarter. Now we see
Davis goes right to the scorer's table, though the referees are on the floor. Kings certainly don't want to be giving up free throws here. Jump ball would be, I guess, in their eyes, an acceptable result. You see Manigault trying to box out underneath as Johnson's arms reach in, and maybe Quincy Davis has an argument. See Zaitsev with the lay. In the end, Chris Johnson at the line, wearing his favorite color of sneakers in pink.
Seems to be a good luck charm for him tonight. Makes his second free throw there. Give the Braves the lead. We're seeing a little back and forth so far. Very close game, some good action with 1 minute left coming down into the end of the first quarter.
Joe back to Q, made one earlier, short with the second one, and here come the Braves on the run, but no, they turn it over as Kyle and JJ connect for the fast break layup. And number 0, Lai Ting-eun, may be forced into a bad situation in the middle. And now it's interesting enough, the Braves very small with TJ, the rookie guard, in there.
Just a lot of fumbling so far with these ball handlers.
Lai Ting-eun will miss the 3, and it's a chance for the Kings to increase their lead. Kenny Manigault realizes the clock, and so he'll pull it out.
Maybe he'll be looking for some isolation action here, just trying to get a high ball screen and do something about it.
Manigault taking on Chris Johnson for the lay-in. And with a second left, a 3-quarter heave. At least put it on target, but it's the new Taipei Kings who come on the road and taken the lead in the first quarter. So we are underway here as the finals have moved on to Taipei. We'll be back after this.
双手拍手，一起来！富邦勇士 ，1, 2, 3, here we go！
团结一心的力量，勇士的王朝却不可的我们，全身沸腾的荣耀。
双手献给勇士，一起来为勇士加油 ！1, 2, 3, here we go！
双手是我们，101。We are Taipei Fubon Braves. Number 1. TFB. 101. We are Taipei Fubon Braves.
掌声送给富邦 Angel 以及比尔，谢谢大家。
Welcome back to the broadcast, where the new cheerleading squad of the Plus League, the Fubon Angels, finished their first quarter performance. Well, we thought it couldn't happen, but the Braves just turned in the worst three-point shooting quarter so far of the series, going 0 for 9 out there, even surpassing their 0 for 7 in the, I believe it was the third quarter of Game 1.
You know, so far the ball's not falling in the basket for them from the three-point line, so we'll have to see Coach Roger try to make some adjustments and just try to see the ball get into the basket, try to get some more drives, some more Johnson touches down low in the paint, maybe even some Zaitsev touches down low in the paint, but gotta see the ball go into the basket, maybe build up some more confidence and try to see that three-point percentage raise a little higher, because right now it's impossible to go lower. They're at the bottom of the barrel, 0%, so only see it go up from now on.
Bayer Mullins and Zaitsev having a little chat. Got a definitely feel of Game 1 of these finals, where the Kings had a 3-point lead, 21 to 18. One big problem is that Jet has missed a lot at the hoop, as Zaitsev leaves it for Jet. We'll get free throws coming up, but my point is, Zhang Dongxin in Game 1 of the series was really taking it on his own, but only 2 for 15. Here it's Zheng Xiangjun, excuse me, his first stint in the game. Let's see if Igor Zaitsev can get this assist on the free throws. Not on the first. So Zheng Xiangjun, who only played 8 minutes of Game 2, only attempted 1 3-pointer in a very low usage game for him.
he's been a very vital part to the Braves team in terms of throughout the season and even a little bit in the postseason. So we'll be excited to see how his role might increase in this game and throughout the rest of the series.
Venti with an overhead pass, deflecting off of a Brave. Veteran point guard, yep, tips off of Dokoyu's hands. But it's inbounded, so Mullins, quick turnaround on Zaitsev, leaves it short. Again, Zaitsev at the high post. Chen Xiangjun now floating over to the elbow. A little behind the back. It's a dive on the floor. Bounce out of bounds for the Braves, but again, the Kings kind of blowing up the action there.
Yeah, we're seeing the Braves not really get into a type of offense, maybe just try to go one-on-one, drive to the basket, and if they see help, then they kick it out. But Kings staying very disciplined, staying low in their defensive stance, helping where they can, and was able to pull off a steal there, but turned it right over. So maybe we'll see a set play here by the Braves, maybe give them a higher quality shot.
KJ flying over. His three is airballed.
Just another one we can add up to the tally, Ryan.
And JJ was close as Kyle flying in for the board, wearing a blue and a red sneaker. He's got Chen Xiangjun on the outside. Step back three away and a bounce to Manigault. Another second chance points as he avoids one and can't finish over Dokoyu. And this time Zaitsev thinks better of it.
Yeah.
This time jumping the pass, collecting, and he can't finish over two Braves, but does get a foul out of it. There's Kenny Manigault, the defensive menace, going to work.
Yeah, the Kings can definitely benefit from Manigault's defense, just getting a lot of these steals. Very active, very great at reading passes and offensive mindsets, but gets fouled at the rim. But every foul matters and every point matters. So we'll see if Manigault can sink these free throws here at the line to increase the Kings' lead here early in the second quarter.
TJ is in. Manigault's first free throw is swished. And 85% free throw shooter in the playoffs cumulatively. 8 of 10 on the series. This one gets a friendly spin, shall we say.
Hopefully that's a sign for more to come in terms of seeing that ball go through the basket.
Still in their man defense where Manigault is trying to jump in front of Chen Xiangjun. Zaitsev will try another three, and again it's off target. Big Z is now over. The ball, there's a whistle on the play. I think it will be a foul, but Zaitsev now 0 for 4 from outside. Look at Kyle driving in. Got hands coming from left and right.
There's a better angle, yeah.
The horn is the Braves calling timeout as they've had a stumbling start to the quarter. They find themselves down by 4 here at home.
有吗？这边有吗？要真的会投篮的哦，要真的会投篮的哦，有吗？有做应援道具的，比较容易被找到。这边有没有？我找上面的，这边有没有？哪里？要真的会投篮哦。来，拿到小球的朋友，在第2节打完，一定要记得来报到，在2边篮筐后方。哪边比较热情，我送一些礼物好了。
The signage outside of what used to be the Neo 19 building here in Xinyichu, which is nearby, on the other side of Taipei 101 to be specific, showing off the finals matchup. And a look at the full capacity crowd here at Heping Gymnasium. Though so far the Braves haven't found that much rhythm besides the start of the game and in the first quarter.
Yeah, as we've seen, the 3 points are just not falling. Not really falling for either team, pretty much, as the Braves are now 0-11 and the Kings are 2 for 9. So we'll see how the shooting woes continue, and hopefully we don't see another, shooting split similar to game 1.
Lee Kai-in, good with the first, no good with the second. So far, the Kings 3 for 6 from the line. Well, typically we've come to expect high-scoring finals. We mentioned the Braves, 115 points per game, and their opponents, first-year Dreamers, then Lioneers, as Lee Kai-in's passes batted down. They had Manigault down court.
Just speaking about Manigault's defense, just extremely active everywhere. Even if you can't see him, that doesn't mean he's not there.
And Manigault finishes the and one. And he will have a free throw coming up. Another look, this time a jab step, and he is using that right shoulder and still getting enough on the shot.
As we see TJ come across and swipe at his arm. Caught a little bit of his left arm there. Good call by the refs, but just nice strength and body control there to finish at the rim. It was a great floater, good touch. And just giving the Kings a little bit of a run here at the around 9:35 left. Completes the and one there, making that free throw, as the Braves need to switch up something a little bit, as they haven't scored in a little while.
Well, they only have the one free throw from that opening play. Jet spinning around his defender, but the pass will go out of bounds. TJ could not secure it. So, Jian Tintao was in the closing lineup for the Braves, but so far in this game has been a big negative for his team. Fumbling a couple passes and his dribble opportunities. There you see Beast. Looks like he's getting ready to get back in. JJ on a closeout from Johnson, and a ricocheted pass has a careless throw up ahead. Kenny Manigault. Lee Kai-in's three, no.
Just seeing a breakdown here on defense, as Chris Johnson able to secure the rebound, but so far, I would say this basketball game has been a little bit sloppy in terms of offensive and defense. We've seen a couple of turnovers, a lot of fumbled passes. As we see there, just
tapped away, and Byron Mullins scoops it way too far as Manigault utilizes the lane to go all the way down. Now, Roger not happy with a lot of things, probably officiating a little bit, but definitely he's got to be on the play of his players out there.
Yeah, definitely not playing to the standard he wishes they're playing at, but still fairly early in the game. But if you can't play well early, then that just means you got a lot more room to make up later in the second half. So trying to keep the game close, try not to get this lead too large here.
Jet from the left corner, it's wayward. Another chance to run. Venti to JJ, back to Manigault. He'll try for three, and it's short. And one thing that the Kings have been doing pretty good of is, until this trip, as Jet floats it in. I was going to say they've been pretty decent at stopping the Braves' fast break attack, but nobody stopped ball there, as now Manigault going against Steve-O. Got to step on him and spinning the other way. As JJ will try three, of that dances off the rim, and Mullins flings it right to Steve-O. A little bit too much mustard on that one. The Jet down low, he hangs in the air and swallowed up by Chen Junnan, who's in for the first time in these finals. Got to stop. There's a foul as Kenny Manigault is losing his footing, of course, to the displeasure of the home fans.
Yeah, maybe thought the ground was a little bit of a slip and slide as took a little dive there, trying to go for a little swim, but let's see if he catches his foot here. I don't see him catching his foot, just maybe, in my opinion, it looks like Manigault tripped and fell a little bit, but, you know, I'm not an official out there, so.
It will be the Braves' 4th foul of the quarter. So a little bit of a turnaround from the first. Well, that's not exactly true. Well, it is. Braves 6 free throws to the Kings 2 in the first frame. Right now, the Braves just hoping for shots to get on the basket right now. Though I'm sure if you ask the Braves coaching staff, they tell you they got to get stops on the defensive end.
Yeah, good defense leads to good offense, and so far it's been neither for the Braves.
Deep pass to Venti, 5 seconds on the clock as Steve-O with the steal and a block by Manigault, and Jet blows it close to the rim, and he follows up his own shot. So extra rebound and a little bit of a heart attack from Tang Zhongxian as Roger now face flush from, I'm assuming that is a displeasure, to put it lightly, as there seems to be a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you, Ryan, there. We see an amazing steal, good jump pass, but unaware and gets blocked. And then the miss by Jet, but lucky enough to be able to clean it up on the other side, but very sloppy all around. Good chase down, though.
And I would say that's a good call by the referees, because Manigault, especially on those layups, hands part of the ball. And so the tip to Steve-O would be use your left hand, because Manigault was on your right shoulder, shall we say. See the previous matchups of Amigo and Beast. That time, Amigo choosing to pass out, and holding Amigo in game 2 to relatively low 16 points was a big key in the last game, and you could say Beast had a big part in that specific effort, along with scoring 15 points of his own.
Yeah, definitely being able to stop the MVP players on the other end is a plus, as they can go off at any moment, as we see an infographic here.
It's Amigo 16 points, only 2 free throws there in the red rectangle. And in the playoffs, averaging 21.5 points. And in the regular season, he's averaging even more trips to the free throw line at 4.3 per game. So Amigo will head to the bench. 7 minutes to go in the first half. He's will remain in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's nerves or something, Ryan, but we haven't seen the highest quality basketball so far in game 3.
And an illegal screen, Big Sushi fresh in the game. That'll be a turnover on the Kings. And so the sloppy basketball continues. Combined 14 turnovers if you're following the site. That time the trailing official had his eyes on him. A little bit sloppy pass by Jet. Now down to CJ, going right at Big Sushi, and that's overshot. Jet flying in for the offensive board. Down to Johnson, fakes the handoff, takes the tough fadeaway, and this one falls in. Another good bounce by Chris Johnson with a turnaround.
Yeah, we're seeing a flash from the first quarter, the beginning of the first quarter, with the Braves just trying to get Johnson the ball down low. So we see some tough defense, some tight defense there from Steve-O.
And now to add on to the mounting Braves comeback is a backcourt call. Let's get another look as Manigault went back to chase after it. And his foot did hit the timeline. So Venti will head to the bench. He's played no small part in this Kings playoff run. And Chen did a pretty decent job, but Beast fakes him out and takes the shot.
The shooting woes continue. That was great defense there from the Kings just to make that shot a little tougher as we see Joseph Lin coming in. The floor general trying to shape things up for the Kings, but another missed three. Going to be hearing a lot of that tonight, apparently, from both sides.
Only a combined, is that 2 for 26? Oh, I hope my math is bad, because that's not a good number. That shot is off. Chen pushes it ahead to Joe. He'll try a three. No. Guess that's just how the cookie will crumble this game.
I guess so, but we're seeing a lot of fast-paced offense from both teams. You know, miss a shot, grab a rebound, go up. Kind of the same thing as we see Zaitsev miss that little turnaround there. Kings push the ball after a quick rebound. Decides to slow it up a little bit, set up an offense.
Manigault slips back door, but Stevo comes for the help. It doesn't do anything as Kenny Manigault gets the bucket. He's had the highest scoring game so far with that lay-in. Now making it 14 points on his evening. There's a foul reaching in as Jet was making a move.
Hopefully there's a little break here in terms of that foul. We'll be able to calm down both the Kings and the Braves as we see excellent back cut, good recognition, and extremely tough finish there by Manigault on that floater, and just a foul on the other end here. Nice drive, good aggressiveness by Jet, trying to make something happen.
Z working with Beast on the pick and roll as Johnson into a tough turnaround.
Not a high quality shot there by the Braves. Seems like they haven't had a high quality shot in a while. They're taking a lot of tough one-on-one matchups, some fadeaways.
Joseph Lin flips it up and in amongst the tree of the Braves. So the lead is up to 6 as Jet makes a move up to Johnson, but fouled by Manigault. CJ not ready to go with the alley-oop for a rare situation. He'll have to earn it from the line. There you see again Joseph probing the space and even getting under Chris Johnson.
Yeah, we see maybe Chris Johnson actually hitting his arm on the way down. As we saw afterwards, Joseph's pointing at his arms to the ref, trying to show that, you know, I got caught there, but great finish nonetheless.
Johnson is the leading scorer for the Braves, now with 12 and 13, having earned 5 of his points from the free throw line. Zaitsev applying some pressure on Mullins, who's out to Joseph Lin. The screen is there. The flip pass right to Johnson, and no take foul as here goes CJ with the slam.
Yeah, just in that 3-on-1 situation, there's pretty much nothing you can do. You can just hope and pray that you're not going to get dunked on, but no, that's the one thing Chris Johnson is looking for, as an excellent finish by Byron Mullins coming down the lane, finishing it for the and one, giving the Kings something to celebrate on the other end.
Pretty good call by you, as the Braves kind of got ahead of themselves. They do like to double Joseph a lot of times, as Mullins thought that foul would be there, and it turned into 2 points for the Braves. But the other side, Stevo could not get in front of Manigault, and so rotations were just a beat too slow, as Byron Mullins gets the extra credit too.
Seeing things settle down for both teams. Coming down to the end of this first half.
Jet trying to put the moves on Joseph, who stands him up as Stevo fires from center field, and a perfect splash for the first Braves 3 of the game.
That's extremely refreshing to see. You know, Manigault actually had a hand on that ball, but he poked it directly to Stevo.
As James clanks it, Byron Mullins had good position, and so a foul out of the rebounding effort. The Braves closing the gap. They're turning an opportunity into a perfect pass. So shall Manigault get the assist on this? Is that what we're saying here?
I think he deserves it. He deserves it, especially firing up this crowd a little more and getting that first three-pointer to drop is something I'm pretty sure everyone wants to see.
Byron Mullins making the first. Was injured in a game in Xinzhuang on March 12th. Game that the Braves won. And then the very next week on March 18th, Kenny Manigault led the squad to a victory here in Heping, kind of surprising a lot of people.
Oh, Steve-O wide open.
Another one, yes! It's the, what they call, the romantic shooter, French Taiwanese, getting the game within one as the Braves commit another foul on the outside.
You know, they just leave Steve-O here, and bang, another three-pointer. You know, his confidence is probably high at the moment. I would see the Braves try to get him more touches here right now as he's their spark on the offensive end, but Joseph Lin knocking down a free throw.
One big part of Steve-O trying to stay on the floor when he can is that three-point shooting. He was 0 for 2 in the second game, excuse me, his first of these playoffs, as Joe calmly sinks 2. But Taiwan P during the regular season, not on his best mark, 6 for 21 as Jet taking on the entire Kings defense. He bangs the turnaround.
Yeah, we've seen this story before, Ryan, where the Braves really try to come alive to close out quarters and especially close out halves, and they're keeping that story the same here.
Mullins stumbling through as the ball dropped between his legs, but then he recovers. So scoring picked up here with a couple minutes to go as Johnson tries from 3. Batted out, rebound by Steve-O to Beast. From 3, and again it's off. Amigo, nobody checks him until Jet steps up. He's got to land as he steps through and around Chris Johnson, who probably got away with a little body bump there.
And we're seeing the Kings be very, very disciplined on defense and attacking the ball on offense as well. They're not deterred by those 2 quick threes by Steve-O and just putting the pressure on the Braves, just really trying to end this half the right way and come out with a sizable lead to where they'll have a little bit of a cushion.
大卫，第一时间应该是那个守他，穆雷斯守他，直接帮中线打。师姐，你站在里面，你帮 Steve 打。CJ， you are weak side。哎，过来之后这边要进来，再 rescreen。 在 rescreen 的时候，中线一过去，这边下档，让这边出来。手机，有平档。所以这边拿到球的时候 ，Steve 拿到球，地位在这边。哎 ，CJ 有就是 player for Joe IP 在这边 ，You can shoot or wait IP， 斜靠斜靠 ，D low low，You can shoot or wait for them。One。
So as the Braves break their huddle, a signage of the best home court, not officially as the count by the official tally from the fans and the members of the media, that went to the Hsinchu home stadium of the Hsinchu Jiko Lioneers for 3 straight years. As you see Steve-O, that first 3 with a close-up cam, and then the second one from the home team high angle, and his teammates are fired up. Always good when you can get production where you don't expect it.
Yeah, those sparks off the bench definitely can create a good atmosphere for your teammates, brings in some more confidence, and makes everyone else work hard as well. So see Steve-O try to get some more touches here at the end, as his teammates have a whole lot of confidence in him, and I bet so does he right now.
CJ screens for Jet, who shoots it short. Now it's a chance for the Kings to extend on the lead. Amigo and Byron Mullins in the Spain pick and roll. Back out to Amigo. Stopped by Jet. Now he goes right. Takes a tough turnaround, and the Braves combine for the rebound.
We're seeing the Braves push it a little bit, and a foul. Probably not the smartest foul here, as the Braves are now going to be shooting some free throws with 50 seconds left, as we see right here on this entry pass.
That's definitely a little bit unlucky by Joseph Lin.
Not happy with the call, but call stands. Zaitsev at the line, shooting 2 here, with about probably 2 or 3 possessions left in this first half.
Quincy Davis ready to check in, as Zaitsev too strong with the free throw. Shooting touches right now. Very hard to find for Lior Zaitsev. The funny thing about his Game 1 performance, where he scored the Braves high 20 points, no free throw attempts. There's again Ray Chen, second make.
You know, in the last couple of possessions, the Kings have really been looking for that high pick and roll, just to look for maybe some favorable switches, either on Joseph Lin or on Mullins. As we see here,
lobbing it up, but just out of the control of Mullins, and now it's a little 5-on-4. Jet stumbles, then blocked by Kyle. And here come the Kings as Manigault flips it up ahead. A little 400 this time, Byron Mullins a little bit wayward with it, and it's Lior Zaitsev who finally gets a lay-in. Something easy for number 32.
And we saw 3 empty possessions down until we saw Zaitsev make that layup, but Byron Mullins needs to control that. He definitely got a hand on it, maybe tried to do a little bit too much, but definitely being able to finish that. And also he had a mismatch on Jet after that initial screen, but we see Manigault here really taking it at Chris Johnson and getting the foul, trying to get some last second points here.
Using his speed on Johnson, who started his jump a little bit too early, or maybe good body control to ensure at least the foul, as Manigault swishes the first. Sometimes we say he might save himself for the fourth quarter, but not so much in this game. Already 15 points in the first half, already with 5 steals on the defensive end. Short with that free throw. But time will run out, and the Kings' 3-point lead from the first quarter will continue on to halftime as well. It's halftime here at Huffing Gymnasium, the site of Game 3 of the Plus League Finals. We'll be breaking things down after these messages.
3326，3326。 第9 6849，6849，最后一位6263，6263。好，以上10位记得待会来领奖哦。再来6位参赛者来了吗？还有2位哦，还有2位。来，赶快来报到。1、2、3、4位，还有2位。拿到小球的朋友，赶快来哦！赶快来到我们2边篮筐后方集合，我们要一起来参加中场游戏神射手挑战赛。来了吗？好，我们先请第1回合就位。来，先从篮下出发。好，先拿着球从篮下出发。好，先看我这里，来，帅哥，先看我这里哦。待会开始之后，投进，从篮下投进之后，才可以到罚球线。罚球线投进就可以到3分线，会一直往前进。那没进的话，就在假设你在罚球线没进，你就继续投到进才能前进。好，了解吗？然后最后，如果3分球一直僵持不下，我会喊咔，然后你们1球做 PK， 可以吗？好，准备，听音乐。1、2 ready go。哎呦，哦，这边3分线了，有机会，掌声鼓励，加油，谢谢，恭喜，好来，这位帅哥表示，就像今天的结果，衣服赢了口罩，给他掌声鼓励一下。
42 to 39 for the New Taipei Kings at the half. Xiaohu and Taipei on the Mandarin broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Kyle Hudson here at Huping Gymnasium for Game 3 of the Plus League Finals, with the series currently tied at 1 game apiece. And now that we've moved into a best-of-5 series, we could kind of say, I don't know if the level of play is actually the level of enjoyment, perhaps, of the quality of basketball exactly is there. There's the combined team statistics where there looks like there's only 17 turnovers, but there's plenty of mistakes all over on the floor, especially in transition where these two teams aren't finding the flow.
Yeah, I mean, just look at these shooting splits here. The Kings shooting a little better from 2, but the 3-point marks from both teams are definitely not to be desired, as you know, just missing these shots early on in the game really takes away from your flow of offense, and you know, maybe there's some lack of confidence out there, but a little rusty from both teams, I'm surprised to say, so hopefully they'll be able to clean that up in the second half.
Also, only a combined 12 assists. That's not where either coaching staff wants to be. There we move on to leading scorers. Kenny Manigault, 15 points. Byron Mullins with 9. Joseph Lin with 6. Amiga with 4. Quincy Davis with a made 3-pointer. And on the other side, for the Braves, Chris Johnson, 15 points. Jet with 10. Zaisev with 7. Steve-O, a couple made 3s. And Zhen Xiangjun just the free throw. Well, the one positive in the record book is Chris Johnson's 10 first quarter rebounds is a Plus League playoff record, if we're got that bright spot out of the way. But there's also been plenty of missed 2-pointers, and overall, to talk about the flow of the game, the Kings have actually held the Braves to only 12 of 31 from 2-point range, obviously oversimplifying long 2s versus paint shots, but the Braves need to be concerned about the Kings 13 for 26, some of those in fast break admittedly, but a lot of those dribble penetrations, the Braves want to stop, the Kings want to keep going.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of dribble penetrations like you mentioned, Ryan, but they're just breaking down the Braves defense bit by bit, as we see right there. A nice little dunk, but just a lot of open spaces as the Braves aren't really rotating much on the defensive end, so we'll see how they'll be able to fix that in the second half, maybe have some more off-ball help, as they're seeing it was a little difficult for them in this first half.
Now, Kenny Manigault, we mentioned he has 5 first-half steals, the only player in Plus League history with a quadruple-double thanks to his 10-steal performance. He only has 2 assists on the game, but when Steve-O's not scoring, you still don't feel like in this game any Brave has done a great job defending him, and that will definitely be a focal point in the second half.
Yeah, the Kings really want Manigault to get a lot of touches. He's just physically stronger than a lot of these Braves players, and he's able to take it to the rack and either draw some fouls or finish at the rim himself. So I'd like to see the Kings get Manigault more touches.
We'll go to another break before a halftime report by Jiayi on the Braves' home court in these finals.
Fin 的等渗透压与人体较接近，能迅速补充水分、电解质。喝水不够，喝 Fin 就好。Fin 无机饮料。
妈妈，你看，好热哦。
添加 L137乳酸菌，补水补好菌，好活力。Fin 乳酸菌补给饮料。
无论你是小值一族还是大气之人，每天存下铜板的金额，就能轻松当台美热门标的股东。无论老司机还是投资小白，都能够逐步累积存股。藉由微笑的曲线，实现你人生各目标。富贵要人帮，存股找富邦。
想买的更多，油钱省更多，网购享更多，店外赚更多，给你多更多，满额优更多。富邦 Costco 联名卡，早早换，好事加倍多。你所知的世界，比你更年轻。每一天，不断出现新东西。我们最好的决定是保持年轻，期待让不同世代同在，谦卑学习与大地同行。当每一天都活得比昨天更年轻，我们就能翻新时代。Stay Young， 富邦人寿，让地球 Stay Young， 富邦领航永续，荣耀与。
我是嘉怡，欢迎来到精彩又刺激的冠军系列赛。回到富邦勇士的主场，如上一场杰哥所说的，客场真的很难打。现在双方已经战成了1-1的平手。那今天呢，主场的球迷，勇士球迷在赛前已经非常多人涌进了。但是呢，如果你没有办法来到勇士的主场，也没有关系，因为呢，富邦勇士为了冠军系列赛推出了特殊款的 Instagram 的滤镜哦，也就是你只要搜寻勇士的 IG， 按下了滤镜，就会出现像这样2款新的滤镜，包括了携手3连霸以及与勇士同行。大家可以试试看使用这样的滤镜，并且 hashtag 之后呢，你就会在勇士的官方社群出现，一起加入我们吧。那精彩的比赛继续回到场上，
随时 OK。
有一种永续货币，用你的每一步赚取，为地球累积大力量，它就叫
Run for Green。
参加4大马拉松，富邦就为地球种树。做对的事，你就是地球队。Run for Green 永续行动，富邦金控，富邦地球队领航永续，荣耀与你共享。
切都是英雄，每滴汗水造就我们。因为我们是开智妍。啊，这香伟。像水一样，我们是台盐英雄特工队。因为水，我们更团结；因为水，我们更健康；因为水，我们无坚不摧。敬所有英雄 ，Drink Amazing， 一瓶到底超跑给你。台盐海洋碱性离子水，喝起来！
Samsung Galaxy S23 旗舰系列。
Mia, can you send me that? Sure.
Mia, can you send me that?
Mia,
Will you send me that? Not you, Mia. 我的业无限。
hey, can you send me that? Sure.
Galaxy S23 系列全新上市。
Welcome back to the broadcast. We're just about a minute before the start of the second half. For a couple points for each team. If you're the Braves, as mentioned, they're currently on a 3-game winning streak in the finals here at Huping Gymnasium after taking that first loss to Amigos 3 in Game 1 of the first season's finals. They've beat the Dreamers the next night 106-82, and then Game 3 against the Lioneers 116-101. Then Game 4 128-110 against the Lioneers, and then they clinched the championship in Game 5 at Hsinchu. But credit to the Kings, who obviously holding the tempo down of the game as we see the sights and sounds from in the tunnels from the post game, I'm assuming, of the last game. Our cameraman seems to be looking for everybody's sneakers more than anything else. But thanks to our partners at Formosa Television for the additional cameras out and about. Well, for the Kings, they've been holding, we mentioned, the Braves to about 80 points per game, but key also is only 80 field goals per game versus the Braves, who would average 94 field goals in the finals. And they've also increased their turnover number to 21, at least in 2 games, through 2 games, versus 15 for the rest. And of course, the 3-point shooting is also a big problem for the team in black tonight.
Yeah, if you're able to hold the Braves to around 80 points, you have a pretty good chance of winning the ball game, I would say. Just coupling that with the poor shooting, 3-point shooting from both teams has got it to pretty even so far here in the first half. So hopefully they got a lot of time to warm up with the little shoot around there during halftime to improve their shooting. So we'll see how this goes, as you know, the Braves definitely need to step up their assists as well. They only have 4 assists from this first half, so look for a little more passing, a little more action between these teams.
It'll be the starters for both squads as Jet takes a little bit of a tumble, now recovers. Joe making a move going right, floating it up off glass, and the ricochet to Chris Johnson. That's his 19th rebound of the night.
19 rebounds in pretty much a half is an insane amount of number to even fathom. So we'll see him be aggressive on the offensive and defensive boards.
These will float it up as Johnson will step it back in. that's how we get the scoring started in the second half, as the Kings now have only a 1-point lead. Joe again working on the screen, now spinning left. Passing out to Amigo, working to his left, and the slip pass to James. He can't get it around CJ. Here come the Braves. Zokoi stepping through. Probably got away with a step as Zaitsev will fly in for the lay-in.
Yeah, that's one thing the Braves are known for. We've talked about it before. We've seen it in games 1 and game 2. They really love to come out in that second half, put a lot of pressure on the Kings, and it looks like they're doing so far, but look for the Kings to stop this with a quick score right here.
James will try 3 this time, and it's good. Big Sushi, they call him in camp. He's got 5 points now on the finals. By my count, 0 for 3 beyond the arc, as Beast will miss the finger roll. So, seems like blown layups are a little infectious.
Yeah, it seems so. Just a tough miss there, wide open at the rim. Would have been very helpful for their team, but let's see the Kings try to capitalize.
Big Sushi, this time with a miss, as Manigault can't hold on to the rebound. So that definitely gave the Braves a little bit of scare as a quick substitution. 2 minutes into the half is coming up. Give it another look at the pick and roll that the Kings will run to the end of the earth. And I'm assuming all basketball teams now.
Yeah, we'll see if the Braves hurt you and run a pick and roll right here. Little handoff action.
Josh in Byron Mullins' face, no.
Seems like the Kings are getting a lot of good spacing on their set offensive. Well, the Braves get most of their spacing on the transition end.
Manigault to James, who spins toward the middle, and that's no good. Chen Xiangjun's in. Little floated pass as the Braves pass it around. Zaitsev finishes with a right hook.
Zaitsev getting pretty hot here at the beginning of the third quarter. Just 2 quick baskets, just really getting a feel for the rim and around the 5-foot area.
Manigault could not get it to go, but the ball goes through the hands of Chen Xiangjun out of bounds. So 14 seconds on the shot clock reset. As James will head to the bench. So some good, but some bad, as the Kings will decide to go small here with Lee Kai-in checking in. Manigault driving on Jet, and the behind the back pass is out of bounds. A little bit too casual with that one.
Yeah, maybe thinking Kyle would stick in that corner. Just Manigault trying to draw Kyle's defender. Maybe giving an open shot on the corner, but didn't give it a little glance before he let it fly, and out of bounds there. Tough break for the Kings.
A little double screen as Zaitsev from the elbow swishes it. The 3-pointer not falling. Big Z making the adjustment. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Migo backs out of a pistol as he wants Lee Kai-in to go at Chen Xiangjun. Forced baseline, and Mullins secures it. His turnaround, yes.
Yeah, tough shot there, but look for the Braves to get the ball back to Zaitsev. He's shooting 100% from the field, 3 for 3 so far. Extremely efficient. Thought about it, give it back up. Maybe looking for a better shot here.
Can't secure it though on the entry pass over the top. Numbers and space for the Kings as Manigault steps into one. No. We've definitely felt like the pace has picked up here in the third quarter.
They're really coming out with a lot of energy. Both teams really want to prove who's going to come away with this, and this is a good start.
Over to Josh from Zaitsev, and the tip ball goes to Joseph Lin. Big Z had it to look, but decided to give it to Zokoi, who had 12 points in the last game. Joe fouled on his way and will somehow get the roll. Taking a top-down approach there.
Yeah, we see him pat Jack there after that and one, just said, you know, good try, Jack, but today's my day, and I got that little circus shot off. As we see, got it really high up there, really wanted to make sure Jack couldn't get a hand on it. Amazing shot, though. Just a little pat there on the side.
The key is just getting the bump in just at the right timing to throw off the shot blocker, and the and one is in too. But once again, the Kings need to turn to Joseph Lin, especially in the fourth quarter of game 2, for example.
He seems to be the captain that pretty much steers the ship for the Kings here. Game 1 didn't have a great offensive night. Game 2, he picked it up, but pretty much leads the Kings in assists pretty much every game, and just really is the floor general.
He's open for 3 and cans it. Kenny Manigault leading the break there. We found the new Taipei Queens and where they're sitting. Holding foul from behind. You know, in baseball, sometimes when a team is doing poorly offensively, we would sometimes say any count advantage is a little bit of a rally. Well, maybe an off-ball foul is a rally for the Braves, as we have our first stoppage in the second half. Frustrating-looking Taipei Fubon Braves squad heads to the break, down by 6.
最热烈的掌声，谢谢富邦 Angels， 一起来 TFB。
We're in the third quarter where the Kings going on a little bit of a run here before the timeout. So far in the quarter, all of the Braves scoring to their 2 imports between Mir Zaisev and Chris Johnson with the putback. But meanwhile, on the Kings side, it's Joseph Lin, the and one, then the 3-pointer made. 6 of 11 points by the Kings on the quarter.
Steve-O taking the ball out of bounds. Good to see him back. Pretty efficient day for him so far with the minutes he's been given. Looking to spot up in that corner as we see Kyle on the ground.
Looks like Jantintal was the one who committed the illegal screen.
Yeah, we'll see a replay here, hopefully, though. Yep, here it is.
Going one way, and I would say that's more or less just unlucky than anything else. Though it is, gotta say, Kyle got a hit to the face, whether it was Beast or whether it was TJ, so. But as a screener, not much you could do as Joseph Lin continues to go to his bag with another layup.
Yeah, the Braves are gonna have to find a way to guard Joseph Lin off of these screens. Game 1, game 2, they used to double team, but now they're sagging off a little bit, which is giving him a lot of space to maneuver around and get to the basket.
He's taking things in his own hand, missed 3, and Zaisev will have to use 2 attempts to get 2 points.
Just looking to add another rebound to his stat total. He's a little behind on Johnson, who has 20 rebounds, I believe, so far. Maybe a little jealous there.
Zaisev now finally in double digits as Davis stopped. Lee Kai-in, he's going to the basket. Amigo in the corner. Yes! And now the lead is 9 for the Road Kings.
Kings really want to take back that win that they wish they could have back yesterday. Really trying to show this Braves crowd that we're here to play and we're going to take what we want.
Definitely the biggest curious is Johnson getting subbed out early. He's going to come back now, but initially the start of the quarter, he was making the biggest impact with that put back and the block shot. These will head out.
In the previous 2 games, we've seen Johnson and Zaitsev play pretty much the entire third quarter as we see Zaitsev just throwing down the hammer there on that nice drive, trying to shut down this Kings team, but you know, it's got to come into play how tired they are. These imports, but not only the local players as well as
Quincy Davis called for a 3 seconds underneath the basket. I guess you can kind of give credit if we're going to continue on this play-by-plays idea. Johnson with that big contest, forcing the dribble, and referee said the count kept going up and an offensive 3 seconds. So Zaitsev has turned in a dunk every single game. Shot off his spry leg, says there's a first. Manigault trying to body CJ, and you got to watch out there. Don't want to be using the basketball for the wrong reasons and getting a tee. Another look at just out of position there. And the 3rd foul by the Kings on the quarter. So Byron Mullins is in. TJ making a move and an opening. He lays it in with the left hand.
On that ball screen there, we saw Manigault didn't want to leave Johnson, and that just gave TJ the opportunity to turn the corner with his defender trailing him. No one came to help, and nice bucket there.
Amigo with a high degree of difficulty 3. They pass it ahead. Steve-O, early 3. Could not make it hurt for the Kings as now they have a little partial transition. Cross matched up. Manigault will lay it in over Zaitsev.
Yeah, that quickness, just able to get that first step on Zaitsev, and once he's got that first step, he's pretty much golden there. Able to reach out the ball, create some space, and finish high off the glass. Just good body control and technique.
CJ rolls, but Steve tries from the corner, no, as Johnson with an easy one-handed pushback. There we go. The rebounding now starting to become a big problem for the Kings as Joseph Lin almost makes it hurt.
Yeah, just Johnson on the other end. We've been talking about him pretty much all game, but his impact just being around the rim, both on offensive and defensive. And, you know, you can put up a shot, and you always have a second chance opportunity with him down there on the block.
Raising the bottom of the rim, Steve-O to Zaitsev. And now you're kind of thinking that Zaitsev's a big black hole out there from 3 as Amigo trying to get around. CJ could not do it. So it's up to Joe who floats it in. Whenever they need somebody, Joseph Lin is there for the Kings.
Seems like the current battle is Joseph Lin versus Johnson, as both of these players have been having great games, but especially great third quarters.
TJ fouled on the drive. A little bit of after the play incidental contact. And now, if the Braves can stay aggressive, maybe they can take advantage of the foul disparity on the quarter. He's only 1 for 2 in the previous game, that being that late in game trip to the line. TJ makes the first. The 25-year-old rookie at a Jianxin University in Taoyuan makes them both. Substitutions first. Lai Ting will check into the game, and again, this lineup with TJ and Lai Ting was definitely not the business when they tried it in the first half, but they're going to go with it again.
maybe just trying to have a little more ball handlers out there. Make sure to protect the ball, try to limit these turnovers, but we'll see how this turns out as Joseph just taking it right at liking it.
And Mullins puts it back in. The 2 points just the same.
I would say that would be a mismatch. They're going to try to get Joe the ball more as try to take advantage of the smaller Lightningen.
So in this lineup, the biggest thing is the Braves are betting Steve-O can stay in front of Manigault and do his share on offense, as they are quote-unquote the only forwards in the game. Over to Steve-O, driving on JJ's former teammates as KJ will try from 3, and off of one leg, KJ hits it. I believe that is the first score of the game for number 11, Honkai-Jie. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Little skip pass, and there's a whistle. I think it's going to be on the defense, as the players are going to stay on that side of the floor.
You hear a lot of booing from the crowd. I don't really know what happened there, but they're not liking it.
Johnson with his third personal, they announce. He's the only Brave with 3 personal, though the referees are going to go to the monitor. And on the King side, kind of sneakily, Manigault, Kyle, Big Sushi, and Davis with 3 apiece. Get another look at what's going on. Looked a little bit more awkward than intentional, as Kyle was setting the back screen. And maybe that elbow is what the referee saw as something flagrant.
I would say that's just part of the game. I mean, if you're getting hit from the back and you're just trying to turn around, then just a quick elbow.
So they announced just a common foul, and didn't take too long with a video replay, so it's not like the coaches can get a lot going in. Certainly, if you're the Kings, understandably not happy about it, but the foul was called. Especially, the trick is kind of by the official who was not in his primary area of coverage. So 3 team fouls for the Braves. They do have 1 to give, or 1 to take, however you say it. Last minute 51 remaining.
The game's still fairly close, 4-point lead by the Kings so far. But we've seen a couple of runs here and there. So hopefully we'll get some high quality basketball here to end out this third quarter.
Joe maneuvering around, but the pass off the side of Byron Mullins' head, probably expecting a shot. Break for the Braves as CJ to TJ on the left side, no. And we continue with our Jays, scramble on the floor. Finally result in a jump ball there. A missed opportunity for the Braves in transition.
Good quality shot though, but maybe wasn't ready to catch it off the initial pass. Just bricked it off the side of the backboard, and little butterfingers everywhere as no one was able to pick up the ball here. See that tumble there. Able to get that jump ball. Around 4 players there trying to grab it all at once.
One of the more notable jump balls from the last game was after a slip on the floor by Joseph, turned over, we went down the very same spot, kind of right elbow extended, and again, probably even more so the second time, loose handles, it resulted in a jump ball for the Kings. The referees want to double check the shot clock, and a missed shot and hanging on possession, so less than 14. Lightningen with Joe, former teammate on him, pops up, and there will be a foul. Probably a tough take for Joseph Lin, who thought he played disciplined defense, but the smaller Lightningen took advantage there. So he got his right arm in there, and referees did not let that go. Or it could be on a JJ from behind, but in any case, it's 2 free throws for number 0. Good with the first as Lai Ting-en is now on the scoreboard. The 8th Brave to score. Though in the first game, 10 Braves scored and they end up losing by 14. So not that that total matters as much as the combined score.
That's true, right? See him knock him down both free throws, and maybe Joseph trying to go right back at him, trying to get those 2 points back.
They try to go with the switch. Byron Mullins patient with it and lays it in. Great Spain pick and roll there by the Kings. CJ from center field, he hits. And the deficit is now at 1.
With less than a minute left to go, Kings really gotta start fighting. Don't want to let this lead that they grew slip away here. Trying to get some good momentum as we see Chris Johnson just pull up. Byron Mullins stepping off in transition. Perfect timing.
And then the take foul by Lai Ting-en. As mentioned, they did have one to give before the bonus as Davis will come in. Mullins getting a word in with the referee first before maybe saying hello to the whooping crowd. Davis in the middle, but skip past Lee Kai-yin. Lai Ting-en guarding. Braves matched up in man as had an angle, but ball popped to Davis and he pushes it in.
Yeah, right place at the right time for Davis. Even though Lai Ting-en got beat, he had some very quick hands, but great finish by Davis to extend his lead a little more.
Johnson picks up his dribble, now going to the basket with a mismatch as TJ will throw it up, but a stumbled King. Another foul.
TJ shooting a lot of free throws today, just being really aggressive on that drive whenever he finds an opportunity. Help his team in any way possible. Got slapped in the face there, as you could see.
Amigo is in for this 10-second play. TJ's high of free throws in any regular season game with just 4 attempts. That happened twice. Once all the way back on November 20th against the Lioneers, and then another time against the Kings December 10th, but past that mark by now. So with that, Kings up by 1. It's Joe through the middle, has an opening, shoots the 3, but it's missed. 1 second left, TJ can't get a shot off. And that's how we head to the 4th and final frame here at the home of the Braves. 2-time defending champs, but in a fight for game 3 here in the series.
来跟着勇士一起做出一样的动作。来喽！尽量小子跟着我们的勇士双枪廷照还有桂宇一起将我们的目标放向前方，双手比出来。来喽，2位，一起跟着廷照还有桂宇，没错，表现好。欢迎范范还有小乐吴思贤。来喽，2位，换你们喽！两位朋友，秀出我们跟着勇士双枪比出来，锁定目标，万众一心。来喽！ 不要害羞。欢迎台湾篮球好手陈怡俊还有郭嘉文。没错，比出目标向前，跟着我们一起万众一心。谢谢。
So Guo Jiawen, player in the WSBL, is more in tune than Ray Chen into the camera here at Huping Gymnasium, but the Queens are not cooperating. That's not nice of them. But the Braves, +8, after Chris Johnson came back in with 5 minutes 24, as the Kings initially built up a solid lead to the start of the third quarter. And something we noticed about Game 2's rotation, Coach Marchand kept in Amigo, Manigault, and Mullins for all 12 minutes, but in tonight's action, it's Joseph Lin who was out there the whole time. And he certainly did his share with 10 points and 1 rebound, 2 assists, as Lionier Xiao Sunyi spotted by our production crew here. The Lioneers season ended all the way back on May 14th. It so happened to be against the Braves. Anyways, onto the floor, it's Kenny Manigault, Quincy Davis, JJ Joseph, and Kyle versus CJ Lighty and Steve-O, KJ, and TJ, as Joe got it over CJ, but Davis puts it back.
We're seeing a lot of putbacks this game, just the bigs on both teams, particularly finding a lot of space there after these missed shots and just taking advantage.
Tian short with his 3. Here comes Kyle with a head of steam, going to the basket, right-handed, miss. Break for the Braves, and they have a chance to run. KJ with Davis crossed-up matchup on him. Awkward handoff play as the Kings will get to match up correctly. Well, as much as maybe we've expected Beast to play, sometimes it is game to game. 23 minutes as TJ will get to the cup.
Yeah, now that you're talking about it, you know, Beast and Josh had huge games, huge game 2s, 15 points and 12 points respectively, but as we see Quincy Davis tip that back in. So far this game, both are scoreless, 0 points each, both 0 for 2 for 2-pointers, and combined 0 for 7 for 3-pointers. So luckily the Braves had a couple of other players step up. We saw Steve-O step up, hit 2 threes, and we're seeing a lot of more rotational players here at the beginning of this fourth quarter. So it's good that the Braves have a pretty deep bench that they're able to utilize.
Well, interesting note about game 1, Quincy Davis and Byron Mullins in some early foul trouble, and here Davis maybe a shove too many to Steve-O setting the screen. And it's Johnson though with the bucket in the meantime. Manigault goes to the cup, but this ricochet doesn't go Davis's way. A little 3-on-3. TJ waits up for his teammates, but Steve-O takes it a shot. And Lighting with another offensive board on the game.
Yeah, very impressive, just being in the, giving the Braves the extra opportunities.
Running low on time. Johnson will take a deep one, and it's good. Lead to the Braves, 73-72. Joe from the free throw line, it's a miss, and here come the Braves again on the run. Well, 5-on-3 as Lighting couldn't get a pass off. It will be out of bounds for the Braves, but right now the Kings need to shake things up. See Johnson, this is the second one, even in Davis's face.
That's a tough long 2, especially with the clock winding down, just elevating and putting that ball in the basket.
I believe it was a kick ball, so, or no, not a kick ball. Just a little reset as Johnson, he'll try from the right corner. He's unstoppable.
The Kings got to do something to contain Johnson. He's pretty much putting the game out of reach, or he's trying to put the game out of reach so far. Look at that stat line.
Indeed, it's a timeout called by the Kings as they've seen their lead slip away. A 9-4 start to the quarter as the Braves trying to go up one game on the series.
This is a banger.
奖品的举手。感谢观众朋友们的支持，我们的台北富邦勇士今天很重要的意义哦，我们的冠军赛第3战在我们的主场这边还没有。
Talk about needing somebody to step up. Chris Johnson in 32 minutes of play, 29 points, 24 rebounds. You can also throw in an assist, 3 steals, and a block earlier in the game, but before it's the crossover and pull up, then just a little baseline out of bounds where nobody comes up to contest. But I mean, it's not easy to contest a guy who's 6'11" with like 9-foot wingspan, or yeah, 9-foot wingspan.
Pretty much 9 foot.
9-foot wingspan, I guess.
You know, just to add on top of that, his release point is over his head, so you're gonna have to jump way over 7 foot to get there. Just tough all around.
The light team will apply a little bit of pressure, but Joe's got to step on him, but will miss another layup. Davis finishes over Johnson, staying patient. That's his 6th point of the quarter.
A good answer by the Kings, just making sure that that lead stays manageable and gives them a good chance with 9 minutes left, plenty of time.
Bad pass by Light Ting-un as the Kings come away with it. Amigo challenged by KJ. They say no whistle and just an out of bounds. So saved by number 11 on the back line.
A great play by him, just going vertical, not trying to jump in, just playing the ball. And as we see here, both hands high, got a tip on the ball. So great defensive effort. And the Kings are...
Oh no, it was called a foul, so.
Looks fairly clean to me, mostly ball, but maybe could have called it on maybe some body contact or something. But good effort by both Amigo and the Braves on the other side.
The second one is good as Beast is in the game too. No, that's TJ's turn to run the point, but this offense not started until Steve-O takes a corner three. He's got it. There's Zhang Wenping coming alive again after those threes in the first half. 3 for 6 overall as Manigault kicks it, and they say out of bounds off of the Kings. It's Steve-O firing up the crowd. Kind of saying the Braves kind of looking unfocused on offense, but it was just a ruse to get their deadly shooter open.
Yeah, great spot up in the corner, knows his role, finds the open spot. Just ready to catch and shoot. That's exactly what you're looking for. Well, we'll see him try to stay in the corner again. And, you know, when you got a shooter in the corner, you can either help and leave the shooter open, or you stick with them and leave the lane open. So you know, lose-lose either way.
Jack will come in for TJ, who's had a good turnaround to his game, at least performance-wise on the floor. And looks like we have more movement on the Braves bench. Beast making moves, but Mullins shadowing. Now they got the switch. Down to Big Z. Davis nearby. Chen Xiangjun from around the free throw area. It's good.
Everything's just going right currently for the Braves. They're just picking the Kings defense apart at the moment. Just getting a nice run for themselves. Give them the best chance of winning this game, but the Kings aren't going to go away easy.
A foul first as Joe put the moves on Josh. Dogory's certainly done well defensively in a lot of the detailed areas, but this game being challenged big time. You see Chen Xiangjun definitely got a feeling when he released it, he put too much on it. As Joe almost made another circus shot. I don't know if it would have counted. I think the foul came earlier. Davis handoff to Amigo as the double comes. Out to Mullins, down to Q, poked away by Beast. And another turnover by the Kings.
Braves looking to take advantage here, just moving the ball, swinging it, but Kings playing very solid defense, making it hard to pass.
8 seconds left on the shot clock. TJ will give it a try. No good. Davis from the elbow area with the board. Not wasting any time. Joe, but miss another layup.
He's been good this entire game, but missed a lot of open layups around the rim that definitely beneficial as we see Beast take a little tumble there after going past Mullins.
There will be a whistle on the play as understandably a frustrated Byron Mullins was the only one back. You saw earlier on the scoreboard the turnover ratio major in favor for the Braves. You see Byron Mullins with a reach around. All he can do after the unsuccessful closeout, as thankfully Lee Kai-yin gave him enough space. Travis getting the crowd going. Venti in, but he allows a drive in. TJ with another lay-in.
He has been extremely aggressive, attacking the basket any chance he gets. You know, if you don't help, then he takes it straight to the cup, and right now he's been filling it up right now.
83-76 as the Kings call another timeout. That previous one, 9:31 when they were down by 4. Now find themselves down by 7. Is my math still good on a weeknight? Yeah, down by 7 with 6:54 left. Let's listen in. See the initial setup, but TJ was aggressive with it, and that's what you really like to see, even with Quincy Davis potentially foiling the play nearby.
Yeah, we saw a little pass fake there, maybe just got Quincy just a little half step behind, but it was good enough.
That's definitely one thing that people give the Braves a lot of credit for. If some guys aren't really doing it on a given night, they have others they can turn to. The best example was Game 2 against the Pilots, where it was Yuri Zaisev and the kids playing around him, but then to close out in Game 3, it was, of course, Beast with 29. So that just gives credence to the Braves program having so many bodies. And I guess, admittedly, we'll say Steve-O, who was kind of an afterthought in the trade for Joseph Lin and KJ and a pick. The highlight package, though, goes to CJ, who kind of got things started off on the quarter. So far in the fourth, it's been almost all Braves, 16-8. Whereas on the Kings side, 6 by Davis, 2 by Amigo. And curiously enough, Joseph Lin 0 for 5 out there. He's Kings right now getting a breather, but of course that's a big spot, the sore spot the Kings were missing in the middle quarter there.
Yeah, for sure. And then Joseph Litt, even though he's not shooting as well this quarter, he's had a lot of high-quality shots. Just couldn't find the bottom of the net. And
Davis spinning around, almost got it as Amigo will pop in the air. There's a foul first as the Braves want to get a travel out of them. They're going to get a little bit of a warning from the referee, but they showed a 2-3 zone and certainly got a missed shot, but yeah, you can call that a foul. There's a lot too much contact for Amigo to fight over. Of course, the Braves will probably argue he's flopping, but let's be real, he's in his 19th season of pro ball. It's not easy out there for someone with his experience.
Experience, for sure, experience. He's got a long playbook on his career page, but Kings trying to get a well-needed bucket, but poked away.
There was an offensive foul in the middle, though, so it'll be a dead ball turnover. That's the good news. The bad news is it's, I think, another foul on Quincy Davis, they say. And if that's the case, I believe that will be 5. Another look as Davis trying to get in the way of Josh, and the referee was all over it.
The referee's being very attentive today.
And it's Eeyore Zysek with another bucket, and it's a 3. Missed by Kyle, and there's a foul first. So I guess the one thing stopping the Braves' momentum is this beast foul down low. I don't think the home crowd minds too much.
And all of a sudden, the lead has grown to 10 points for the Braves, and it's very tough to come back from, but definitely doable as there's a lot of time left.
So we see Lee Kai-yin missed layup again, and Bees got a hand in there, and certainly took an awkward tumble, but the foul was first. He will go to the bench as Big Sushi's in there, but almost there and pass right to Amigo, and he can't save it. There were some lucky bounces early in the game, and right now they're all falling toward the weight of the Braves.
Yeah, with the Braves being up, they're able to dictate the pace as we still see TJ being extremely aggressive in the paint.
Double screen by TJ as Chen finds him. That one's in and out, and the foul in transition. So you can just say it's not his night. A couple positive plays for the Kings, as indeed Zokoyu probably needed to give a little bit more ground there. Looking on the game stats, could be Zokoyu's third personal, as Roger might be making an argument, but in the end it's Kings to the line with 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, benefit for the Kings now is that they're able to be extremely aggressive, and the Braves got to respect that, because if they get up too tight, play too tight a defense, the Kings are going to the line and shoot free throws, which is great for them. They can get some easy points on the board, but also stop the clock, which is, the one thing that's going to lose them the game here is the clock winding down to 0. So getting points while the clock is stopped is most optimal for the Kings at the moment.
Open for 3, and that barely touches the iron. Mullins picks it up before it goes out of bounds, and here they come. Nigo, lucky bounce to Joe, who drives Chen in the face, and that one's off. And Byron Mullins sticking with the play, and it'll be more free throws as nobody was in there to provide a box out on Byron Mullins down low going to work.
Great hesitation there, just waiting for Zaitsev and Beast to just jump right past him and elevate and get caught in the arm, go to the line for 2 free throws. Definitely a step in the right direction for the Kings here. Keep that aggression alive.
They have so far been perfect on the quarter, 5 for 5 at the line, while only 3 for 14 from the field, as we see Mr. Lin look on. During the regular season, if we can calm things down for a bit, the Kings were 3-1 at Hooping Gymnasium. One of the biggest contributors, of course, Joseph Lin, going from 8 points per game against the Braves at home to 15 points per game and plus 10 points every game played as Beast makes a move, hangs in the air, misses. And the ricochet will go out of bounds for the Kings, so they get another stop. Don't look now, but they're only down by 6.
You know, the Kings were had a little comeback last game as well, so they're no strangers to coming up from behind. And you know, this is a similar situation. But this time they have a lot more time, a little over 4 minutes. So we'll see how they fight the adversity.
There's a reverse layup for Sushi, or it's a putback for Mullins. Several stops in a row, and the lead is down to 4 for the Braves. TJ going around the world. Beast in the corner takes a dribble. That one's in and out.
Tough shooting night for Beast so far. But on the Kings side, you know, we've been talking about Johnson a lot as well. You see a foul here. But Mullins
took a shot to the face.
Yeah, Mullins is having a pretty solid game himself. 17 points, 16 rebounds, or excuse me, 19 points and 16 rebounds. So it seems like they gave the tip in to Mullins. Having an overall great game, both ends. And a chop to the face there from Jack. Oh, tough foul, tough foul.
And so the heroes, I should say, CJ and Steve-O will be checking in, as the current squad on the floor is doing a horrible job. And hate to say it, but Beast definitely having the worst of all games. 0 for 10 from the field, and he's also got 4 personal fouls. This lucky bounce for Kyle. Cuts it to within 3.
Keeping it exciting here in Hooping Gymnasium. This is exactly what the crowd wants. A higher scoring game than last time, and a very close one at that.
Makes the adjustment for a perfect switch there. Whistle to get some administrative things out of the way, including a substitution. One bounce, and a couple times off the top of the backboard, and in.
Yeah, just as he drew it up.
Chen Xiangjun on the Leadsister logo, and lucky to hang on to it. Good effort by Kyle, who took a dive on the hardwood.
Yeah, we've seen him give a lot of effort from the Kings side, just trying to bring the energy up. He's got a lot of contact recently in terms of, you know, taking it to the rim a couple times, got slapped in the face, but wants to give the Kings as much opportunity as they can.
The Braves lead is just 2 as Manigault's in. Takes the contact and finishes it anyways. A desperately needed basket for the Braves.
Coming on the other end, looking to retaliate here.
Amigo pretty careless with the dribble. Nice dive and push, but it's right to the hand to Steve-O. A little bit too early for the Braves to play keep away, but they walk it up with just over 3 minutes to go in the ball game. East avoids the steal attempt. And TJ over to Josh. From about 20 feet, that one rolls in. And it's Tokoyu who's turned around a tough start through, shall we say, 3.5 quarters. 2 field goals and forcing the Kings to use their last full timeout.
I gotta tell you what, Ryan, if you come up big at the end of the game, everyone's going to forget about the first 3 quarters. You're going to be the hero for these last couple minutes. So we've seen them 2 big baskets, just eating up all that contact, finishing at the rim. Big pump fake. He gets a nice shooter's touch there. big 4-point swing from him alone.
Do Guoyu, as we mentioned, 12 points in the last game, but was only coming off the bench, in fact, in game 1, was 1 for 7 for 2 points. And so the change to have him and Beast together in the starting lineup, perhaps to make up for Michael Singletary's absence, really paid off that time. Now in this game, we can kind of say the start didn't go as planned for both of those gentlemen, but that's just what both coaches talk about a lot of times. You just want to have that next play mentality. You make big turnarounds or small turnarounds in the games, one play at a time.
Yeah, that's true. You got to have amnesia. You miss 3 in a row, you got to keep shooting because your team wants you to keep shooting. So, you know, great to come in fourth quarter, not playing super well, but Josh coming out and showing why he's an elite player here for the Braves.
But after the timeout, looks like a little bit of gamesmanship as more substitutions will be made, as finally the Kings make it onto the floor. We have not said Amigo's name very much on the game, though he has played. Where's the number now? Now north of 30 minutes. Little horn set as Joe cuts through. Amigo trying to get across. Need to look to their second options. A little double screen. They jump it. And Jet playing decent defense too. It's Amigo falling away. No. And the whistles finally go off as, awkwardly enough, they say shot clock violation, though Mullins also missed the follow-up, so a little bit of an awkward situation. The referees will go to the replay system. It's kind of hard to tell what for and how they might adjudicate this, but that's why they are in the tough positions they are. They study hard, and obviously they got to hit the books when it comes to the modified rules here. There's see Beast trying to challenge the Amigo shot. Does it graze the rim? Maybe. Certainly took 2 bounces in that vicinity. But the way Mullins collected it, he definitely thought it didn't. But his follow-up shot did touch the rim.
I think it does. I think it does hit the rim, but as you mentioned, he just takes a quick shot right after, so I'm not sure how they're gonna call that. I think it does clip the rim a little bit.
Well, one way that they could resolve it, which I don't think the Braves would be very happy with, is calling it a jump ball. And so they say 14 seconds on the shot clock. So that particular play and the review especially going toward the Kings way, and I don't believe the referees are going to say a jump ball out of it, as if it was a wedgie or indeterminate going out of bounds.
It's a good break there caught by the Kings, as you know, every possession matters now. It's coming down to crunch time, and let's see if they can have a set play here for this out of bounds to really put some pressure on the Braves. Look for maybe a curl on the outside.
Bill hanging out with the Kings fans in attendance said, Joe with the toughest lay-in of all, hitting the hardwood and knee getting a hand. But that's a big bucket, and in fact, a quick timeout by the Braves, even though they might have wanted to attack back really quickly. To borrow a phrase from Coach Julius. There you see driving, and Zheng Xiangjun got a hand on the ball and crashed from friendly fire by Mullins there. But again, with Joseph down, you would think the Braves might want to take it the other way. But we get another look at the incredible touch. Intentional or not, it's 2 points anyways.
Yeah, his body control is insane. Just that amount of hang time he has. You know, both defenders jump at the same time at Joe, but able to hang on just long enough to put that ball nice and soft off the backboard.
像我们的那个hold down一样，hold down一样。所以这边中线你带过来，如果是被挡到，可以投就投，可以 pass you can attack。If you cannot attack, post action。所以如果自己这边拿到球，中线你如果有给要走掉哦。好，看那个谁上，丢上吗
？One key about this series and any series, any game individually, it's really would be a positive for any team if both imports are really on their game. And for the Braves, since they are currently and still ahead, Johnson, we mentioned, a 20-20 effort. Zaitsev now 20-10 at least. And the combined efficiency for those two gentlemen, 69. While on the King side, Byron Mullins has had a relatively efficient night. He's almost approaching a 20-20 game. While Kenny Manigault, no steals in the second half, but 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, has put in a solid effort.
Yeah, both teams definitely filling up the stat sheets when it comes to the imports. And they're just kind of giving their entire effort here, especially down to the last 2 minutes. Most important 2 minutes of the game. We'll see a lot of contact, a lot of effort from both ends.
He's taking it in there, and it's off, and the Kings have a chance to go 5-on-4, but Amigo finally realized it. Lee Cayenne was wide open, but Beast recovers, so it's Manigault on Steve-O. He tries from 3, no. Davis with the board, and a second chance for the Kings. Manigault on the handoff. That Zanwenping recovers. Wasting a lot of clock now. He's going right, picks it up, goes underneath, and Johnson with another rebound. But it's not over yet. They need a quality shot. Certainly can't give an easy turnover in coast to coast. And it looks like the Braves will be caught 8 seconds bringing the ball over the timeline. So I guess a turnover, but a dead ball is the only silver lining for the Braves, though. 75 seconds left.
Yeah, it's only a 2-possession game, Ryan. It's anyone's game. I would say the Braves, if I were them, I'd be pretty nervous right now, but the Kings got to stay super fearful of, some long rebounds and transition offense on the other end. So we'll see how they come about here.
Joe fires away from 3. It's a brick, and the Braves have a chance to run, but Josh choosing to hang on. They still have numbers as Jet will keep it away. Well, again, they're only up by 4 points. Out to Steve-O, 9 seconds left. He screens for Beast, a fumble, and then the shot. Wow! Leans to Jet with his first points of the game. And it might be the most important. Kenny Manigault airballs the layup. Davis in the middle, but ball pops free. Kings in desperation mode have Amigo make the 3, so it's not over yet. But time is not on their side. There's a whistle on the floor for substitutions. And the Braves are calling the timeout. So as much as we were impressed by that Beast 3, Amigo gets even, and we still have a game yet. There's Steve-O coolly getting it to Beast, who even on a fumble puts it through. But on the other side, the Kings finally in their scramble get Amigo free for 3.
There's still plenty of time in this game.
As mentioned, Amigo in his 19th season as a pro, Beast in his 20th. Were only one-time teammates really briefly with Taiwan Beer in the SBL, but now find themselves on opposite ends of another Plus League Finals after our inaugural season when Amigo was a member of the Dreamers.
DJ 拿球，直接往这边走，第二球，对，杰克在这边，桂宇中线拉到下面。 你给完之后，你在上面等，让这个3 PK 落完以后，要不然你再上来，要用掉啊，时间。哎，等他犯规不攻都没关系。
The one key that Roger's pointing out is they kind of have to, Braves have to be mindful of the Kings if they want to foul, because they did already commit that 8-second violation. But right now, given a little bit of breathing space, thanks to Beast's 3, as we mentioned, he's been a strong scorer for them in the playoffs, averaging 7 points per game in only 21 minutes of action, and that's raised up to 13 points per game in 33 minutes of action. That'll probably go down, but we still have 29 seconds for some weirdness. All the Kings up in the front court as Jet tries to get free. To TJ, who's doubled and crashed into, and they do call a foul. If it's on Joseph, that'll be his third, but more critically, free throws for the Braves. Kings did at least play pretty good defense.
It looked fairly clean to me. Maybe Joseph caught him a little bit on the top.
I guess credit to Joe for the weight room work.
Yeah.
Bumping him off the spot, but they needed to foul one more time for free throws. More substitutions as both teams are trying to get their best free throw shooters perhaps out there, if you're the Braves and if you're the Kings. Anybody with fresh legs to go back and forth. You're down by 4, so it's at least 2 possessions.
Should be interesting here to see if the Braves want to foul on the other end after these free throws to limit the damage. Don't want to give up a three-pointer too early in the shot clock to give the Kings ample enough time to try to turn this game around.
Dysef checking in with Roger as the Kings opting for rebounding with Mullins in there. It seems like just about every one of 7,000 in the building on their feet. A little stoppage here as we get lined up for this free throw. I don't know if they're trying to ice Beast. He made the first. And through the playoffs, as Quincy Davis will check in to really ensure the, looks like there's an administrative free throw issue with the substitutions. That'll definitely change up the dynamics a little bit. As mentioned, Beast is a perfect 11 for 11 in these playoffs. Now it looks like we're getting an explanation as to the order of could they or could they not substitute. Now they're going to in fact get the game commissioner involved, so admittedly not a good look on the officials as they finally clear it up.
Yeah, especially they sense this is such a key moment in the game.
Now it's understandable if they're eventually get to the right conclusion, but obviously for the flow of the game, you'd hope they'd get there sooner. Beast cans the second one, and the deficit is 6, so still a 2-possession game. Braves are now going to apply a little bit of pressure and now back off.
Look for the Kings to get a quick shot. Taking a little bit too much time, in my opinion. Time they can't afford to lose.
Joe looking inside, floating it up there, get on the iron, and Beast comes down with a rebound and a foul. Now, if he misses them both, they're still alive, but 6 seconds, 7 seconds left. That looked like, again, after not fouling in the waning seconds of game 2, it looks like the Kings let too much time slip off the clock.
Yeah, definitely. They were looking for a 3, but just any type of quick shot I think they wasted around 15 seconds just to put up a very highly contested shot, unable to grab the rebound on the offensive end, and end up having to foul here. It's not the best or the optimal situation here for the Kings, as seems like it might be out of reach if Beast hits this free throw. Yep, so now it's a 3-possession game. 6.77 seconds left. Seems a little bit out of reach, but you know, anything could happen. You don't want to, you know, never say never.
Now, admittedly, if the Kings not happy about the substitution situation, Quincy Davis still a capable three-point shooter, and like we said, we're trying to figure out why they didn't get up a shot earlier. Whether a 2 or a 3, an early shot, if you make it whether 2 or 3, you got to set up for either a stop or a free throw situation and then do it over again. So dribbling down to 7 seconds would have ruined no matter whose personnel was on the floor plan-wise, because even down to 8 or 9 seconds, you make that shot, the degree of difficulty is still immensely high. So the Kings will use their 30-second timeout to try to pull off a miracle here.
So pretty much now in this scenario, you either gotta take a quick 3. You have to even have a chance of winning this game. It's got to be a quick 3, quick steal, another quick 3, and hopefully you get another bucket somehow. But you know, with this time left on the clock, it's going to be extremely tough. But well, we'll see what the Kings have drawn up here.
So the mark to beat is Reggie Miller's 8 points in 9 seconds. Well, how about 8 points in 7 seconds? Joe looking for an outlet, out to Mullins, back to Joe, who takes 2 dribbles. The layup is good, 3 seconds left. That's not too slow. But now Beast will just dribble it out. Interesting play design. In the end, the Braves will come away with a victory. And a little celebration happening here at Hooping Gymnasium, as they will now win their second in the series, with 1 more to play on a Saturday night to move into the check position, up 3-1. But on the Kings side, they had strong stretches in the middle of the game. In fact, in the 3rd quarter, building up a lead as well. But the momentum by the Braves this time at home in the 4th, really demonstrating how home court advantage can result in longer, more consequential runs for the home team. And if you don't manage it well, for either team, it's definitely very difficult to come back in the very end.
Yeah, we saw the Braves have 2 players pretty step up here in this game. They didn't see much playing time in Game 2.
好，感谢现场所有的球迷莅临今天富邦勇士的主场，我们恭喜勇士拿下2连胜，在系列赛取得了2-1的领先。那稍待等一下，
acknowledging some of his family members in VIP courtside, as we're about ready to get to Jiayi with our on-the-court interview.
Hi, 好，电视机前面大家午安，欢迎呢，就是拿下了勇士拿下2连胜，然后系列赛取得2-1的领先。那嘉怡在场边访问到的是我们的庭长，庭长先跟现场大家打声招呼。
Hello， 各位富邦勇士的球迷们，大家好。然后也谢谢你们特地来帮我们加油，谢谢。
好，真的非常的兴奋，因为今天2队比赛很焦灼，差距都没有超过7分。那先来讲一下庭长，下半场可以说是越打越顺，甚至第3节你单节灌进了6分哦，也有双位数的得分。来到了第4节，6分53秒，在突破上篮得分之后，你有一个鼓噪现场球迷的动作，是不是有什么想跟大家说的？那个时候的你很激动。
对，就是一个气氛嗨起来，然后希望大家一起把这场胜利拿下来，所以才会做出那样的动作。
哦，所以说场上的大家也希望所有的球迷一起加入，把这场比赛拿下。好，那接下来庭长想要聊的是，目前勇士已经拿下了2-1的领先。那休息1天之后呢，马上又是 Game 4了。聊聊第4战的备战。
Asked about
其
now
实应该
the
就
prep
平
for
常
Game
心吧，然
4.
后我们会继续把做不好的地方持续做修正，包含在明天的练习，然后去检讨自己做错的地方。
好，那今天呢是周4的晚上啊，不只是满场的球迷，其实许多球迷在今天下午的时候就已经提早来到球场排队了。那今天呢，现场的7000球迷都在这边，有没有什么还是想跟大家说的
？2个字，谢谢。
好，谢谢廷照，也恭喜勇士拿下2连胜。那休息一下，广告过后我们继续回到球场。
Our post-game coverage, we'll go to break before wrapping things up from Game 3 here at the home of the Braves.
待会在廷照出发送球之前，我想教他一句口号，请大家要配合喊出来，可以吗？很简单，4个字而已。相信他在比赛中有听到，待会请廷照来帮我喊出来。好，最后一颗嘛，来，出发之前，来我们音乐小声，然后听到大家一起配合廷照大声喊出来，来，廷照交给你。
这被我拿掉。噔噔噔噔
，Go！ 还要吗？还要吗？还要吗？来！没有。谢谢大家，今天一起用行动支持来到现场，为勇士拿下关键的第2胜，也一起完成第5件事情。在后天，希望再次见到大家进场，一起来为我们勇士队来加油！希望大家今天让时间留给我们，如果没办法也给因为战队还有富邦1-9，还有自己最大声的掌声鼓励，谢谢大家。 最后时间也有点晚了，大家可以去用餐了，然后回去的路上小心。我们后天见，大家晚安，拜拜。也提醒大家，我们在后方的应援小组中，在座位上就可以了。
So finally, TJ Jiantingzao making it into the Braves locker room. Victorious after a hard-fought game against the new Taipei Kings, putting in a strong effort on the road. In the end, giving a hug to one of the alums from his high school. And if we look at the combined team statistics, one really important point is the bench scoring from the Braves. Early, it was Steve-O with a couple made threes. Then it was TJ coming alive. He had a shaky bit in the middle there, handling the ball. Even catching and passing was an issue. But it's never too late is going to become our slogan from the game. And on the Kings side, of course, we just knew that Joseph Lin would put in a strong effort. In the end, 20 points. 5 assists. And in this game, the number of fouls went up, the number of free throws went up, and in the end, the three-point shooting was not horrendous, but still not exactly the fireworks show we saw. And so I feel like in the end, the Braves probably had a little bit more stick-to-itness in the end, whereas the Kings were kind of left without a lot of good answers here on the road in Game 3.
Yeah, I think the Kings definitely have had the opportunity to come back and close out this game, but in the clutch moments we saw in Game 2, they were very indecisive. They weren't able to make quick decisions and just wasted a lot of time off the clock, which eventually led to them losing the game. And same thing here tonight. They had the opportunity to bring this game closer and actually try to get the win, but unable to make these split-second decisions that they need to pull off.
The bottom stat is probably the biggest one, 18 turnovers to only 8 by the Braves. So in comparison to game 2 where the Braves made a combined 25 turnovers, that's definitely a step in the right direction. So now with a 2-1 series lead, the Braves once again host the Kings, but on Saturday at 5 p.m. here in the same venue, but tickets already sold out, folks. So just open up your phones, turn on your TVs, and get ready for another highly contested game here in the Plus League Finals. So thanks, Kyle, for joining our broadcast. Thanks to Xiaohu and Taipei on the Manners side, on our colleagues at Momo TV and FTV. We'll see you guys in the next one.